be a cruise ship that is dog friendly. And by dog friendly, I mean not just service dogs. I'm talking companion animals, period.
I want to let my dog
And
shit
why
on the
is
starboard
this
port.
exactly? Why is this not a thing?
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh, my dog, hey.
Oh, my dog, hello.
We're back.
Back again.
No idea what we're doing with our lives.
Nah, it happens. Usually we're pretty good about winging it. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have a specific, nothing like crazy or major happened, which we are not complaining about.
Frankly, I didn't even know I was supposed to be here tonight.
I know. She called me about, okay, tell me what you called me about earlier today about your P.O. Box 33.
Oh my gosh.
Madrid, Iowa. I don't know. We got to come up with it.
So if you've been listening along, you know that I have a P.O. box because I love mail and I love getting mail and I wish everyone would send me some mail. I once again have to sadly report that I have not received any fan mail on behalf of OMD. So once again, the address is P.O. Box 33, Madrid, Iowa 50156. So I go check the P.O. box every Monday because I have to check another P.O. box for some side gig that I do. And I get there today, and there's a
Girls
little
by mail.
yellow slip in my P.O. box that says, please see your postmaster / postmistress, whatever. You have a item that's too
Wait a
big
minute.
to fit in your box. Like, I haven't heard that before, but all right. So I walk into the post office and I hand the guy my slip and he's like looking around. He pulls out this big box. I mean, a relatively big box. And I'm like, oh my God, we have fan mail.
Somebody sent us some, I don't know, dog treats or
Some, like,
socks for dogs
Swag
or, I don't know.
or something. And it's just like some from page so-and-so from Plano, Texas. And I was like, I don't know anybody from Plano, Texas. So I open it up, and it's a chip and dip. Do you know what a chip and dip is?
Yeah, like, yeah, it's got the little bowl for the salsa.
If anybody has ever seen the episode of Mad Men, where Peter and Trudy got married, and they got 2 chip and dips, and he has to return a chip and dip, and it's a whole thing about chip and dips. So when I open the package and I have this chip and dip, I'm like, oh my God, I have a chip and dip. And there's this letter from Tostitos because Holly, in her infinite wisdom back in like July probably, decided that I was tired of not getting any mail to my beloved P.O. box. And so I was just going to start writing companies that I enjoyed their product to see what kind of free shit I could get. And so I wrote a letter to Tostitos because I love Tostitos Hint of Lime chips.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best there is. That's the only chip outside. I would give the whole grain scoops a very close second.
What do you scoop with a whole grain scoop though?
Salsa.
Like, ugh.
I mean, that's the only thing I eat on Tostitos.
Yeah, no. I don't think I like that. I don't even like wheat bread though, kind of.
And so anyway, I wrote Tostitos a love letter, some fan mail.
Well, because you were telling them, you said this, you were telling them about you had a girls' day or weekend, and you guys enjoyed having those chips and blah,
yeah,
blah.
so I had the girls down to the lake, and I had made fresh salsa and gotten a bag of Hint of Lime, obviously, and then Tara shows up, and we're helping her unload her car and 18 bags of luggage for a, one night overstay, and
Can't even fit that much in the tiny
there
home.
she has a bag of Tostito Hint of Lime. I'm like, these are my favorite chips. She goes, I know, they're mine too.
They're so good.
So anyway,
Now she's got merch from Tostitos.
so I sent them a fan mail saying, I love your chips. Would you please consider sending me some free bags of chips to hand out with my fresh salsa? Because I give everybody salsa. In the summertime, I have all this salsa. I give it to everybody. So they sent me a chip and dip and a handwritten letter saying, thank you for sharing, blah, blah, blah. We thought this would go well with your...
This is how it's done, brands.
Right. And 3 coupons for a free bag of any of their plethora of offerings of chips, which...
Gonna get lime.
Obviously. Well, I do think they expire in March of next year, though, so...
Yeah.
Gonna have to get something else between now and then.
They don't have lime in the winter?
Well, they do, but I don't make salsa in the wintertime. So.
Well, speaking of fan mail, though, we got my favorite email email we've ever gotten.
So I woke up, I was going to bed, and I was checking emails, because I have like 14
different inboxes. Yeah, it's
different emails that I check. And so I'm going through OMD, and there's this email from Wisconsin, wasn't it? Wisconsin?
Yeah, she's from Wisconsin.
Yeah. And I'm reading it. I'm like, this is spam. Like, this is
the way it's
automated.
Written, it looks like a phishing email. Like the prince from Nigeria is trying to get our money. Like,
yes.
But it's really well written, though, once we started reading it.
Which, if you make it to the end, it makes sense, because she's like a director of...
She's Midwest Family Broadcasting in Eau Claire. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin. News director. So she's a creative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
which
she like
shines through.
She matched our freak and was like going to, but it's so funny, and she says such nice things.
You gotta read part of it.
Yeah. So she goes.
What's her name?
Morgan McCarthy.
Shout out to Morgan. We love.
Our faces are still hurting from smiling reading this stupid email. I mean, it's so great. But she says, right out of the gate, or doggy door, as it were, I'm going to fangirl a bit. And I was like, wait. I said, somebody's messing with us. Like, that's not real. And she said, you girls kick so much ass. I mean, in dog theme terms, you are the hot dogs in a bin of stale milk bones. What? Like, it just keeps going on with these, like, wonderful, like, one-liners and puns. And she says she clearly enjoys the mix of passion, puns, sweet, and snark that bring the wild ride that is transitioning from mere dog lover to dog rescue. So she dives in a little bit and talks a little bit about that she also volunteers and am active with local shelters. She fosters dogs for a Great Dane rescue and sanctuary there, which is good to know in case we ever need to transfer somebody. We've got a Great Dane rescue here in the area, but that's awesome. And
always need more.
Yes. And then she's like, I think the reason that she wrote in is that she saw our like crusty old golden retriever Flo and was like, hey, I'll drive to Iowa for like that old thing.
She says having these two together is the canine equivalent of ordering 2-for-1 margaritas. They're a little too sweet sometimes, but for some reason you keep thinking it's a good idea. And at the end of the day, I love them madly, even though they sometimes prompt me to make questionable decisions.
Yes.
Also, they pair well with free chips and queso.
It's all coming around.
I have a chip and dip if y'all want to get together.
She can entertain. And she talks about Golden Girls. So, anyway.
Oh, man. It was just the best email ever. And
Hilarious.
It just kept going. I was
I thought, okay,
entertained.
I was thoroughly entertained. And then she writes back again, and our days got busy, so I didn't get as good of a response in.
She mentioned you, too.
Oh, yeah. What did she say about him?
All this to say, it's during those shifts that I listen to your podcast and have developed a bit of a crush on you both, along with the mystery man pet. I sometimes hear pop in on the podcast. In parentheses, is he conveniently place trained or on a potty pad in the corner, perhaps?
We have him in a kennel, actually.
Oh my God, that's gonna have to be the intro to this episode.
So you are now our man pet.
I'm blushing, like legitimately blushing. I think
we haven't taught him any tricks yet, but they're coming soon.
I'm pretty sure you've taught me a couple of tricks.
Well, yeah, that made me laugh out loud.
That was so funny.
So, and by the way, we haven't even talked about who Tanner is for a hot minute, so we probably should
true.
mention, like, who the man pet is that you can't see if you're watching the video.
He
I
is
cannot wait until my wife listens to this.
Maybe she has trained you in some tricks.
That's right, yes.
She has, I believe.
Full
yeah.
of tricks.
Yeah.
No, Tanner is our editing guru for the OMD podcast, so
He's producing this bad boy, so we sound all right,
Absolutely.
and we don't have time to do it, and he probably doesn't
I mean,
either, but he does it for us.
he's got a hell of a job in front of him.
Yeah.
He's worth every penny.
We've all gotten better at this.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly entertained as we sit here, and then it's always nice when I get to throw my one-liners in every once in a while. So, I'm glad you have a super fan. I think you should fly her out to do an interview.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Come on down.
Well,
to
she wanted to
Wisconsin.
come down and adopt Flo. Unfortunately, Flo is kind of a bitch,
Yeah,
literally,
she
actually.
Is, well, she's an old lady. She's deserved the right to just decide that she doesn't like anything but her people.
Same.
And, yeah. So, anyway, that really made our week, actually. That was
But
pretty
gosh,
fun.
I'm now keeping an eye out for any golden retriever that might persuade her to.
I know. Let's
come
get her
on
down,
down.
here. She can tell her husband when she gets home where it came from. It's like, well, I went all the way to Iowa. I can't take it back now.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that
What
was
were we
great.
talking about?
I don't know. Well, and part of when we were diving into this, she wrote in because she was interested in all the dogs that we have, the adorable little puppies, all the things. She wrote in about the oldest, crustiest, mustiest dog.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I think we'll dive into. We're going to go through kind of our intakes and adoptions and things like that. And one of which is a very senior dog.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose we could jump into that now. You want to tell that tale about that dog?
So, yeah, at the top of our intakes list, we had 7 intakes, and Caesar was shortly after our last recording. So, Caesar is a... What was on his vet work? Because Courtney was like...
He was a Shorkie.
They told him one thing, and there was
Yeah.
a different breed on the vet records. It doesn't matter.
Karen Maltese. No, sorry. A Schnoodle.
They said it was a schnoodle. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Schnoodle.
He's
noodle,
a
something
old
fluffy and
White.
crust. A nice
I
crust
think
over
he's
him.
like about maybe 11 pounds is what was on the last vet check.
Yeah.
Anyway, so his mom died, and the daughter of the mother took him in, and she has been watching him and taking care of him for a couple months now. And she went and had him all brought up to date, had his dental done. I mean, spent like
She
$1,500
did right by that dog.
on this dog,
Yeah.
just getting him where
Ready.
he needed to be.
Yeah.
Now, this dog is 16 years old, which, I mean, I think the lady had him since he was a puppy. So
Yeah.
I'm
We'll all be lucky to have our dogs at least 16 years. That'd
not
be amazing.
questioning that number at this point. But anyway, the daughter had like a bully mix dog at home, which he's a good dog, not aggressive, but he's young. He's like
Intense. And when
like
you have a
high
16-year-old...
energy next to a 6-year-old 11-pound
Yeah.
decrepit floof, you know. He just kept getting knocked around,
Yeah.
not on purpose, just
No.
the way that it happens. And so she was kind of running out of options, and unfortunately the way that I read the tea leaves was her friend was trying to help her rehome the dog and eventually just said you should just euthanize him.
Yeah.
Not a great solution. And so they had called into
The vet's
the
office.
vet's office where Courtney works, one of
Mhm.
our fosters and volunteers, and to schedule this euthanasia. And she was like,
No.
no.
I got you. I know a couple gals.
I actually know somebody that would want this dog. And so she called us, and I called our very good friend Lori up in Forest City, who is she's just an incredible human being who adores the hospice cases.
Yeah.
So she
A connoisseur of the old crusty musties.
she will take on pretty much anything, but she especially appreciates the older dogs that are kind of, you know, at the tail end of their lives, which it's always hard to say. I mean, yes, there's some dogs that are in health decline where you know that they're going to die within, you know, like 6 months. But, you know, a lot of dogs, like, they're old, but who knows? Who knows how
She
long
could
they're
have
gonna
this
last?
thing
I
for
don't
another
know.
couple years. Who knows?
Well, so when I went, I just happened to be in Des Moines when all of this happened. And I was like, "Do you want to move on this today? Because I'm here.
right.
I could pick him up."
Yeah.
And I called Lori. Lori's like, "Yeah, absolutely." Actually, when I called Lori, she said, "Oh gosh, Mimi, her other senior dog, had just died on Sunday, and this was like Tuesday." And I was like, "Oh gosh, Lori, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll find others." She was like, "No, no, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be, we're all just kind of melancholy here, and we don't really know what to do because Mimi kind of ran the show in her house." So she was all for it, and I had worked with her on another dog just a couple of weeks before
And
that,
it fell
and it
through.
fell through.
Yeah.
And so she kind of wanted to make this happen now, which happened to work out great for me as well.
I didn't even know what the
I
heck
know.
was happening. I was like,
For
"What?"
once, you were the one out of the loop.
I know. I jumped back in. I was in a meeting and all of this happened. And I came back out and I was like, first of all, who is that? What's going on? Where is it? What is happening? What is even going on? Which, it was great. It was a well-oiled machine. Love it. But anyhow, yeah, in and all the way up. And it sounds like Caesar's doing pretty good.
So yeah, I went and picked him up like 1:30, and the lady walked in with this dog, and I'm like, he's fine. He's fine. He gets around fine. He was reacting fine. He maybe have a little bit of blindness incoming, but
they all do. Yeah, when they're
he
getting that age.
was totally cool. And then I met her up in at our normal meeting spot between Ames and Forest City, and
Off he went.
off
to
he
his
went.
forever.
And I think she's kind of thrilled that he's kind of a quote
Easy. Yeah.
normal dog, because she adopted Littlefoot, and Littlefoot was diabetic. He was blind. He was incontinent. Blah blah blah.
He was hideous.
He's a lot. Well, I mean. He was a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think she's kind of, although Caesar does dribble like an old man does, and so she belly bands him up and away he goes. But
Yeah. It's all right.
everything's cool.
So, we'll dive into this a little more. Let's finish out our things. But we're gonna circle back to talking about the importance of adopting, rescuing, fostering senior dogs.
Oh, thanks. I love senior dogs. Sorry. I have a cold. I don't know if anybody else can hear that, but
Everybody does right now. It's terrible.
I was doing my best to mute you so you could sneeze or whatever you were going to do.
I know. I was just
trying
pausing.
not to sniffle into my microphone here, but
Yeah. That's all right.
yeah, senior dogs. They're
Anyway, let's finish
Okay.
our intakes, outtakes, and then we'll dive into this. 'Cause
okay.
I think
So
that
Caesar
we'll
was
spend a
the
lot of
first
time
one.
about
Barry Sanders, that's you.
that. Barry Sanders, we got an email into the inbox. Same deal. I was like, they're like, hey, we've got this, it was a stray, I believe, older Shih Tzu, around 12 years old, they guessed, in Nebraska. And they said, this dog does not belong in the shelter, and he's not going to do well. Can you guys take him? And I've never worked with these people before, this shelter before, but it was very seamless. I said, sure.
Was this the one in Nebraska
Mhm.
that I got today? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was that. And he was here the next day. Like, they had him brought down here, and they brought him all the way right to Carrie's house.
Love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, and then he
Makes
was
you wonder
adopted.
what's wrong with him, right?
Well, so his intake was the 24th, and he was adopted on the 27th, a 12-year-old dog. What kind of magic is that? And he was here literally in one day. They asked me about him on the 23rd.
How long did they have him?
I think he had just finished his stray hold.
Oh, okay.
So I think he
I got you.
got lost, got dropped off, got dumped, whatever. And probably in less than a 2-week period, he had gone from whatever his life was before to the good life with his new mom.
So this hasn't happened yet, but what would happen if the owners would track him down? Like what
If
then?
he was truly a stray, what happens is, and it depends on like different locations and
I mean, legally, I
shelters.
know, but like, go ahead though. Our listeners might
Yeah,
not
they
know.
want to know.
Yeah.
It's usually 10 to 14 days. The dog sits in stray hold with either a rescue or a shelter or whatever.
Right.
If your dog is not already microchipped, and if your dog is microchipped and you don't have it like
Properly registered.
that dog just sits there for that time. And unless you're looking for it and the right people call the right place or see it in the right posting or whatever, then that dog is legally transferred over to the rescue to then
Ownership-wise.
vet and adopt out.
Right.
So we've had a few like this that have come in quickly. But if that owner came back at this point, I have had this happen one time.
Really?
Wow.
I have not yet.
Yeah. I told them about it. We won't say their names, but someone we know have adopted a dog, and then shortly after I got a call, the people had tracked down and found where the dog went, and it had been 2 months since they lost it. And I said, listen, it's a tough thing.
What do you do?
Legally speaking, the dog is no longer theirs. And also, that dog sat in the city pound for 14 days. 2 miles from their house. They never once called and checked to see if it was there or whatever. No. They said that the dog got stolen out of their yard. No, it didn't. Like, there was a lot of questionable things. I guess it would be
circumstantial. Yeah. Like most things are. Mm-hmm. In that circumstance.
Yep. And
tough cookies.
So that dog, in this instance, not Barry Sanders, but this other dog I'm speaking of, he was transferred from the city pound to the city shelter, where he was put on the euthanasia list. He was less than 24 hours from being euthanized. Another rescue we know pulled him out from the euthanasia list, and then we're like, crap, we don't have anywhere for him to go. Sent us the picture, and we never have big dog fosters, but we had actually, I think I took him. I took him for a little while, and then we transferred him over to another foster. So this is all over the course of about a month or so. All along, no owners found, nobody looked. Well, they saw the post from the rescue that had pulled him off the euthanasia list. And somebody who shouldn't have.
That was.
Yep.
Oh.
Somebody who shouldn't have said, hey, I know where that dog went, and they gave out our rescue's name. So then they called me at like 11 p.m., and I was laying in bed, and they're like, you've got our dog. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't have any, stray dogs or anything. I have only dogs that have come out of euthanasia lists or owner releases. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
They sent me a picture, and I said, oh, yeah, I do. And I said, here's the deal. Did you go?
I don't think we ever told the adopter about that.
I told him.
Did we?
Recently, yeah.
Oh, okay. At the microchip clinic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're like, well, it doesn't matter. He's our dog now, which is exactly what I told these people. I said, listen, you can take solace in.
Oh, God.
I mean, this dog had crossed state lines, for dog's sake. Like, he had gone across state lines, come to our rescue. He was been fully vetted. We'd put all of this, time and resources and money into him. Then he was adopted by a wonderful family who loves him.
Right.
At this point, like, yeah, that's terrible. But, like, if your dog is, like, loved and well taken care of, and it was a puppy. It's not like they'd had this dog for
so many circumstances.
There's just a lot of circumstances.
The fact that they were 2 miles away and it sat there on stray hold, I'm like,
14 days. They didn't call. They didn't check. Like,
you're not on vacation that long.
No, and they weren't. Like, they knew immediately when the dog went missing and didn't do anything about it. And the circumstances that the dog came from and the circumstances the dog landed in, it definitely did a step up in the world, which is great. But it's a horrible call to have to take.
Of course.
Because it's like, I'm doing this because I'm trying to help dogs who are homeless and that, like, truly need help and need homes. And then here I am, like, really excited about that we found a home for this large breed dog. And then I get a call and confirmation from its old owner. And, like, that stinks. But legally speaking, that dog has already transferred ownership. And there's nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? Like, go talk to these people that adopted the dog and tell their children that their puppy they can't have? No. So I talked to people. I told them the whole truth, and they asked if they could have the contact information of the adopters. And I said, absolutely not. No, sorry. But I can promise you that the dog is well taken care of. I know these people very well. It's going to be fine.
Right.
And they agreed. Everything was fine. And they both.
Well, I could see where that could get hairy-carry.
I know. So it's messy. That's why we typically do not take stray hold dogs unless it's a special circumstance, because we're not a pound. Right? We're not a city shelter. We're not stray intake. We're not animal control.
Yeah, we recently looked into that as well in another case. And in the state of Iowa, legally in the state of Iowa, law enforcement only has to hold the dog for 7 days before they can legally destroy the dog.
Right.
So I mean, there's that.
Well, in this
story, holds for 10 days, right?
Yeah, and in this story, that dog was quite literally going to be destroyed. Rescue stepped in, and
right.
You just have to.
And we held for 14 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we held the one we got for 14 days.
Right.
Didn't get any communication from the old owners, and so the adoption took place, and it's in a way better place, I promise you, based on the condition that dog was
100%.
in. 100%. So we try not to play that game and live in that world, but occasionally in rescue, like, if that happens.
I think it just goes to show that even when you're trying to do good things, bad things can happen.
Unfortunate circumstances arise, and you have to make a judgment call.
Yeah, and in today's world, in, cancel culture, we're always trying to make the right decision, and
because everybody's got something to say always about everything, but I mean...
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of PR lately around several rescues or rescue, what do I want to say, people that support rescues. There's been a lot of Facebook buzz, with so-and-so and so-and-so, and they're posting things, and they're getting attacked one way and the public standing up for them in another way, and it's like, okay.
Everybody's got something to say about something, and so...
At the end of the day, we're all just trying to do something good, and we're all just doing our best.
Right.
And so until everybody else's butts get in the seats,
Yep.
I'm driving this bus.
Yeah.
So.
No kidding.
And I insure this bus, and I pay for this bus, and I make sure all the seat belts are functioning properly. So,
yeah, no, our goal is always to do what's best for the dog, and I don't think
that's always been our priority.
It has, and I don't think we've ever strayed from that, even in like circumstances that like that were a little questionable. And we have those conversations between ourselves, and what do we do, and our years of experience have to just supersede sometimes when there's not a clear right answer.
I don't think we always go back to that. Priority is a dog, because that's always going to be the answer. Period.
Yep.
Sorry if I hurt your feelings, but
yeah, no
it
kidding.
is what it is. We also had a return, Ville.
That was so strange. I don't believe we got the whole truth, full truth, nothing but the truth there. They said that, so Ville came in to us from Texas originally, shipped up here with a bald head. He looked like George Costanza. Like, his whole head was bald, and then, like, he had fluff on the outside, He had some sort of skin issue, which has clearly cleared up because he is absolutely beautiful. He's this fluffy shepherd mix puppy who's now...
Shelter transfer came in with Panama.
Yeah, they came up from Texas.
That wasn't part of the...
No, it was before that.
Gotcha.
And so, but had a weird bad skin condition that they cleared up or whatever. And anyhow, got adopted out. Was adopted out
11/20/23.
Yeah. And now
was returned. So almost a year.
Yeah. The dog got full size.
Oh.
And then the people said, "Oh, well, we live in this like complex and you can only have dogs up to
30 pounds.
30 pounds and he's 45."
And they're starting to crack down on it. Which, when you called and told me about this, I said, what would happen if we called the property manager and asked for a whatever? And you said, it's not going to matter. And I said, I know it's not going to matter. The point is they're trying to surrender a dog under this, situation that's not true.
Right.
Or that could be waived if we just called it.
Not an aggressive dog, not at all. I just think they had a high energy 1-year-old dog that got bigger than they thought it was going to get, which, looking at that dog as a puppy, I don't know how they didn't think it was going to get at least 45 pounds. It looks part German Shepherd, and it is. Like, it's pretty...
Well, that's what it was listed as.
Right. And so, anyway, I didn't fight it too hard because I know that he's completely adoptable and he's a good boy, and we had a placement for him, and it was fine. But
I think within the first, 10 seconds of a phone call
Yeah.
or an email,
Yeah.
whether
They're willing to fight or not.
it's air quote fightable or not,
Mhm.
whether you can push back or not. It's just
It wasn't worth it in that instance. I said, I don't need any more information. We'll handle it. Give me a couple days.
yeah.
And they were cool. They weren't like, he's got to go today, come here at midnight type of situation, you know,
Right.
which was nice. You know, they gave me time, and I was able to speak with the original foster, who originally had said, oh, we got a lot going on. I don't know if we can take him back. And then the husband, never happens. The husband said, come on, we're taking him back.
Right.
And so they did. And I think he's already got a meet and greet set up.
Honestly, I thought this was turning into a foster fail because Chloe had followed up a couple times over the next couple days, and she's like, "Oh, he's getting along, and and the husband loves him, and all this stuff." I'm like, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it out loud.
No.
I'm not gonna. If we're all thinking it, I ain't gonna say it.
I
And
know
then
that-
the next message, the next day was like, "Oh, we have a meet and greet Wednesday." It's like, "Oh, all right,
Cool.
mark me down as one wrong on that one."
Well,
Not yet.
EBD. We don't know.
That's true.
I think that dog would easily fit in because they later, after Vil was adopted the first time, they later adopted one of their fosters, who they have now, and they're about the same age. So I think they probably are good play partners. They had our only survivor from when we had the distemper outbreak.
Okay, so I'm just looking at what? What was that? What did you say?
Chloe's family
Yeah.
adopted the only survivor
That's
from
right.
the distemper outbreak that
Sorry.
came up from Texas.
I was-
So they have puppies that are
I
like
only
the
heard
same
last
age
bit of
now.
that. So in Vil's foster record, there's a thing here from Blue Pearl about ingesting a silicone baking cup.
No one told us about this.
It's in his.
Did I know this?
I don't know. It's in his records. From
Did
Blue
we pay
Pearl.
for that?
No, June 4th, 2024. Thank you for referring.
Oh, so that happened after
while
he was
they had him.
adopted.
Yeah.
Did they have to have surgery?
Percent emerged for eating a silicone baking cup this afternoon.
He ate a whole cupcake and the thing it was baked in.
Oh, what happened here?
Oh, that's funny. I was going to say, that never happened at the rescue. Okay.
Administered, whatever, IV, successfully induced emesis. What's that mean?
Made him
Miller
throw it up.
was able to vomit up a dog food and a baking cup.
This is the importance of getting your dog to the vet right
As
away as soon as they eat something junk.
We have recovered the baking cup ingested. At this time, we suspect that we have recovered much of the material that was ingested, but cannot confirm without additional.
Oh, funny. Well,
Wow.
so they paid quite a bit of money to have him go to Blue Pearl.
What is a silicone, like the floppy ones?
Yeah.
Reusable,
Reusable,
floppy.
like instead of like the paper, it's like the little rubber ones, and you can reuse them. I wouldn't know. I don't bake. How did I know that?
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, Vil is back with us, and he is back with his original fosters.
Baking cup free.
Yeah, no baking cup in his belly. That's funny. I never read the old records from when he was at his. I just assumed because he's not up to date on his shots, he needs his shots redone. They didn't do that, but they took him in when he ate a baking cup. So glad they did that, I guess. At least.
Hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
Okay, who else do we get? Oh, and then we had 3 dogs from our, as Holly said, our alma mater, our original Fluffy Butts. They have, so Fluffy Butts is run by Chris, and her sister Carrie is as insane, if not more insane, than I when it
Total
comes
psychopath.
to, yeah, just absolutely nuts when it comes to taking on
I mean,
dogs.
she works the night shift, or at least she used to. I don't know if she does anymore, but if that.
And I don't
tells
think
you
she
anything.
sleeps because she's got all these foster dogs.
I
Like,
don't know.
she works really hard to save dogs' lives, but occasionally she says one too many yeses. And I think they were having a hard time keeping up with, getting these dogs pushed through and finding them homes. And so they sent us 2 of my least favorite breed of dog, Bichons,
Right.
and then 1 little mini poodle, which
And why do you hate Bichons, Kara?
it's a terrible, awful story. No, my very first dog I ever got, I bought it from a puppy mill when I was in college. He was the leftover 6-month-old puppy. His tail had no fur on it. He'd been beaten up and had a lot of neurological issues. And I thought, I can handle this at age, whatever I was, 18 when I bought him. And I had him for, well, 6 years. And for that, like, majority of that 6 years, he was mean. And I didn't care about that. That was fine. But I had a little kid. I had a small child. I had other dogs. I was starting to get into rescue. He had bit and sent every dog of mine to the emergency room for stitches by the time I finally said, I need help. And I drove all the way to Omaha with him to get him to go see this behaviorist and then to go to this specific dog rescue that's out of Omaha called Little White Dog Rescue. They're wonderful, by the way. But at the time, much like us, they were very full and they couldn't take him on because they didn't have anywhere for him to go. So I decided I was going to rehome him on my own. Again, very barely into rescue, didn't know anything, didn't know where to turn, didn't know who to ask, dumb, made a lot of mistakes. But I rehomed him to a family who didn't have any other dogs because I thought his main problem was other dogs because he really would just violently attack other dogs. But he had bit every member of my family also, except for Cam, my daughter. He never bothered her. I get a call middle of the night from this family that he had like really badly attacked the husband, who was like a 6'5",
Right,
like
a little Bichon,
giant. It's like a little Bichon, but his teeth were I mean, he was rotten. And he hurt him pretty bad. And he's like, I don't know what to do, but you got to get this dog out of here. And I was like, crap. So I got him, put him in the car, and he's just snarling and like beyond, like you can't get him back. Like he is just like,
God.
it was horrible. So I'm driving around sobbing.
Right.
And I had probably $200 in my bank account at the time, you know. And so I drove to the emergency vet in the middle of the night, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but I think I have to euthanize this dog. Like, I don't know what else to do. I've tried driving him out of state for help. I've tried rehoming him on my own. I can't take him back home because he wants to kill everybody in my house. I don't have anywhere to put him. I don't know what to do. And they said, we don't do that.
Right.
So then I was really in a pickle. I was like, well, shoot, I don't know what to do. I have my mom watching. My husband, I think, was deployed at the time. I have my mom watching Cam because I had to drop her off so that I could go get this dog in the middle of the night. You know, I don't know where to go, what to do. I have to go back and get her. I can't have her see him again because we'd already given him away. It was terrible. So I'm one of those people that is calling the hotline and didn't know what to do. So I, in the middle of the night, went to the ARL and I put him in the drop box and I put a whole long list of, like, I explained everything that had ever happened. I gave him all the information. I gave him my information. I gave my vet's information. He was all up to date on everything. And they called me the next day and they said, hey, did you drop this dog off? And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I had to do that. I didn't know what to do. I was panicked. I didn't, you know, he was so awful. I could barely get him out of my car into the, and they said, well, because he just had a bite incident that caused like medical needed, like this
attention.
Guy had, he had to go to the hospital. we have to put him on a bite hold, and do you want us to call you after the bite hold is done? And I said, no.
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to know.
Right.
Like, if you have to euthanize him, you have to euthanize him. So I called the lady from the Little White Dog Rescue, and I said, hey, listen, I know you were going to help me, and I know I was trying to wait to, like, for you to have an opening, but all of this has transpired since I was down in Omaha. Like, I don't know what else to do. And she goes, okay, I'll call the ARL. I literally just shut myself off of the internet for long enough. Like, I just, like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know if he, you know, like, if he was euthanized or if he was, which is awful, which is why I have, some people I don't have patience for, but I have a lot of heart for if somebody is having a problem, specifically behaviorally with a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot more now. I would have done things a lot differently than I did back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand when you get to a point where, like, I have no idea what to do, and I'm driving around in the middle of the night with a snarling dog in the back of my car that is my responsibility, and I have no resources at my fingertips.
Disposal,
like, I don't know
right.
what to do.
Well, I think the important
So
part
it's
of that story
PTSD.
is
That's why I don't like Bichons.
I think the important part is all of the things that you tried. You know, how many times do we encounter people that are in despair that haven't tried anything? And that's where it gets frustrating.
I tried a
of
lot of
course-
things. I would have tried a lot more things
Yeah.
today. You know, I mean,
Well-
I have a dog now that it's a bit more people and things, and he's still with me, but I know what to do and I know how to handle him now, but I just didn't know what to do back then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, if you're not trying to help yourself, nobody wants to help you.
Yeah.
And nobody especially wants to help you in the middle of the night.
Unless it's me on my birthday.
Yeah. True.
Oh, shoot.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
when
people
I
keep
met-
giving us these GD Bichons, and it keeps bringing it back up.
When I met up with Chris to pick these kids up in Grinnell, she's like, yeah, I told Carrie she can only have X number of fosters from now on. I'm like, okay, let me know how long that works.
She's going to have new dogs by the end of the week. And that's fine. We actually...
No, they do an
amazing
Fluffy
job.
Butts does a great job. They take on
They
some
wrote
of the
the book
worst
for,
cases,
like, yeah.
And
And they've been doing this for so long and in such a good way. And what I really respect about Chris and Fluffy Butts is they know when to say no.
yeah.
Like, they have always done things the right way and done everything absolutely they possibly could medically to take care of a dog. But they're not going to say yes and take on more than they can handle because they want to do it right and do it well. And so we try to find a good balance of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I picked up Sienna, Casper, and Marie Antoinette on, I don't even know what day it was. It doesn't matter. Picked them up, brought them back, dropped them off. Des Moines,
Yeah, they came in on the
Boone.
28th of October.
That was a long day.
Yeah, you drove all over the place.
That was a long day.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you have been following along with the tale of Holly's car radio.
Well,
Who was it here was it you we were talking about? Okay, so update to our little man pet here. Is it man pet? Is that what she called him?
Yeah.
Okay. So last time I was here, my battery was acting up in my car or something. My car had died.
Yeah.
And I had to get jumped and whatnot. And then it did it again, but it didn't do it in between. And I was like, I don't know if it's the alternator or the battery or whatever. And so I went and I got a new battery, hoping that was it. And I put the new battery in, which, by the way, Chrysler puts the battery in the trunk, and it's in this fucking case.
I've had a car like that before. It's
so
terrible.
annoying to change. I'm like, really? Is this really necessary? I didn't put it back the way that it was, by the way.
It's just loose back there, isn't it?
I give zero shit at this point. It was in the middle of the night. I hit my head on the trunk. I was super pissed. I had none of the right tools. It didn't go well. But I got it done. And
Then ghost of
my
FM
radio
Cast.
just started working out of nowhere. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me right now? This whole time. The whole time.
She's
This
been
is not
driving
fire.
around with AirPods in. She's got no audio.
Needed to change the battery. No, not true. That worked for 40 miles from home to Des Moines. I messaged you. I
Yeah.
was like, look, it's working again. And then the next message was, it's
Never
not
mind.
really working.
It's back dead completely now.
Yes. Well, on the way here tonight, it worked from Madrid
what
to
about
Slater.
the fuse? Have you changed out the fuse for the radio?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's
So-
all of my auto shop talk I know to say.
It works sometimes, and it doesn't work sometimes. Kind of like me.
Let's
so
see.
Sienna already has an adopter set up. I talked to Janet. She was spayed today, and her adopter is coming probably on Wednesday or Thursday.
If
to
you're
pick
into
her up.
poodles, she's absolutely adorable.
Oh, she's a doll. She's got like 3 teeth left, though.
Love it. My favorite.
And when I picked her up, she was quiet the whole time, and she was very subdued. I don't know if they drugged her before I picked her up or what, but she was chill. But I dropped off a microchip and flea and ticked her on Friday, and she was spicy as hell. She came out running out the door, rah, 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 barking at me and everything. I'm like, who are you? Calm down.
They get settled in and they find themselves. Yeah.
But Janet's been taking good care of her.
Oh, I love it. That's so great.
She's out the door already.
And then we had a crazy call from a friend of the rescue and a foster, our last intake. Well, first of all, the stories she got wasn't even real.
Speaking of feisty dogs.
So, our very favorite Australian Shepherd. This is actually like a purebred Australian Shepherd. And I have a couple of my favorite dogs that I hang out with their owners at the dog park. They have Australian Shepherds, and they're wonderfully well-behaved dogs. But they spend a lot of time with them. They exercise them a ton, and they're very well trained.
You have to.
You can't just have an Australian Shepherd.
They're
you have
psychotic.
to have a job for them. You know, we had Nadia here. That dog is a superstar, but she works herself to the bone to make sure that dog has something to do. Anyway,
I shouldn't say that they're psychotic. They're not psychotic. They're very intelligent.
they're a different
and they're
energy
very-
level than we like in our companion dogs.
When you say high strung, they are the epitome
That's
of
very true.
high strung. They need something to do all the time.
Mm-hmm. Most of them, yeah.
And I don't know as though I've ever seen an overweight Australian Shepherd.
I have seen a few. There's
Really?
a couple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one way to slow them down.
Yeah, get them fat. Full Thanksgiving meal. But anyhow, this call or this instance was really urgent because apparently this Australian Shepherd, and this is disgusting, but got into a fight with another dog in the house over
A dachshund, wasn't it?
a weenie dog
Yeah.
over a dirty diaper. Gross.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Dogs like stinky shit though.
Ugh.
And we were told when we took the dog in that the mini Australian Shepherd killed the dachshund.
That
It was
she
gonna have to put it
injured
down.
it enough that they were at the vet's office at that exact
And they were going to have to
moment
put it down.
euthanizing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. The dog didn't actually kill it.
Right.
It harmed it
it
enough
injured it.
that they were
Yeah.
taking it in. That they were at the vet's office at that point in time euthanizing
Yeah.
the dog.
So our foster had, custody of the dog. I said, well, if this actually happened, we need to put it on a bite hold for 10 days and
Right.
watch it. Because, of course, it wasn't updated on shots.
Naturally. Nor
Um,
spayed.
But after a couple days, the dog has settled in, doing well. We'd like to find it a home with either a very knowledgeable owner or no other dog's home.
But there are so many things that led
There's
up
a-
to this situation.
Yes,
She's not spayed. She's in heat.
Yep.
She's 6 months. She's less than a year old.
No, she's just less than 2 years old, but which
Okay.
is that adolescent, teenagery time. That's the perfect, storm.
And she's underweight.
Very thin.
So,
She was hungry, trying to eat a freaking diaper.
there's a lot of things that went into this little story.
It's not the dog.
And furthermore, the dog that got hurt in this situation that was supposedly being euthanized, not happening. It's still at the vet's office,
But it's fine.
under care.
Yeah.
And the owners are off on vacation.
They went on a cruise.
Off on vacation.
And they dumped their dog.
Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine any of your dogs, any of them, any of my dogs being on, essentially life
Doggy
support,
life support,
right?
and then going on a
and going
freaking
on a
cruise? No.
I don't give a. That's what trip insurance is for. I'm sorry, I could not do that.
No.
If Reese was lying up in a vet's office, and I'm in
Well, I'm getting ready to go on vacation.
in the middle of the ocean,
And that's my biggest fear, that
No.
something's going to happen to one of my dogs and I'm going to be in another country in 10 I'm terrified. But I have like 600 people on emergency call, and it's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. But
you're gonna be fine.
absolutely would
But
never
if one
go.
of your dogs got hurt
No.
on Friday night, you're not leaving on Saturday.
No, I would delay by at least a few days and figure out what was going on. My God. But anyway,
I could not.
that dog is now an Oh My Dog dog. They released her to rescue. She's doing fine in foster. We're going to get her spayed next week. Make sure we have a full evaluation of her behaviors, what she needs. The foster wrote up a nice thing for me. So before I head out on my trip, I'm going to get her posted with the information about her so that we can find her an appropriate home where she can be cared for and understand her needs and her behaviors. But that was a weird one.
Yeah, I don't think in a normal situation that dog is probably aggressive at all.
No, I don't either. I think it was just a perfect storm.
Yeah.
It's a mini Aussie. Like, it's just, missing a brain cell or two, but otherwise it's fine. Anyhow, so those were our intakes. We'll be much faster zipping through our outtakes because I want to talk a little more about that senior dog situation before we wrap up.
Marshall Mathers finally went home. Bugsy,
our runaway dachshund. He was on the run in Madrid for 3 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they sent a picture, and he's wearing his football jersey to watch sports with the family. He's a Packers fan.
Kira was a foster fail.
Mm-hmm.
The Polly Cavalier was technically a foster fail.
Yep.
Caesar we already talked about, and Barry Sanders we already talked about.
Yeah. So in and out.
So we had 7 in and 6 out. Not bad.
Yeah, we'll take it. We like that, keeping things at
close ratios.
Yeah. I want to dive in a little bit into the importance of rescuing and adopting senior dogs. I thoroughly believe that every household should have at least one senior dog in it.
Definitely.
If you already have like a pack of dogs or a couple dogs, like, what's the problem with taking on a dog that might have, 6 months to a year to 3 years of your life to care for if you've got the means to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the reason that I kept Ninja, although who knows how old she even is, that trickster. She came in looking like she was going to die, and now she's, attacking my pit bulls, so I don't even know. But anyhow, I had a phone call, which really led me into why I wanted to go off on a tangent of this. This man called me. He said, I'm 73 years old. My dog just died, and I'm looking for another companion, and I want a large breed dog. Oh my gosh, I have a deal for you.
I have a 2-for-1 for you.
I have a 7-year-old German Shepherd who is doing great. He would love to have a one-on-one companion. He would do great he has a farm with all this land. I'm like, he would do awesome. He would love it.
Oh, nice.
This is awesome. And I'm going on and on and on. And he had applied for him. So I thought,
you're interested.
You're interested.
Why would you think that, Kara? God.
And he then goes, well, he's probably too old. And I quite literally said this. I said, I'm just going to say something right now, and we'll together do some math. I said, you're 73 years old. He's 7 years old. If he lives
This is all going to time out perfectly.
If he lives to be
14
or 11 or 12... It feels like that's the age of dog you should be looking for, sir. What? And he's like, well, my last dog I had, was the smartest dog I ever had, and I'm trying to find one that's smarter. I was like, first, that's your problem. Do not try and find a comparison to the dog that you had before. Try and adopt a dog that will be a good fit to your household and then love that dog for who it is. But neither here nor there. You're 73 years old. You can't tell me that you'd rather have a 1-year-old dog because you don't want to see it die. Like, what?
What kind of familial support do you have?
That's what I said. I was like, what are you going to do if, because
if your dog outlives you? What
do you have a plan?
Yeah.
No, though, no way he had a plan. And then, so he shut me down, and I was like, listen, he's like, well, can you let me know if you have a dog like this who fits my criteria? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll put you on speed dial, buddy. So we hang up or whatever, and actually, Vil is exactly what he was asking for. Not what he wants or what he needs, really, but that's what he was asking for, right? So then, 3-4 days later, this mother fluffer applies again for Kaboom, the 7-year-old German Shepherd.
So we already have a touch of dementia.
Yes. So you're telling me that we had a whole, like, I was driving, it was like a 40-minute phone call. I'm riding in the car talking to him, and finally I'm like, all right, I'm getting nowhere. I'm shutting this down. And then 3 days later, I'm like, I'm not going through this again. So I didn't call him back, and it is what it is. But, like, what the heck?
Poor Kaboom.
So anyway, I'm not here to say who wants what dog and whatever. But there's something to be said about thinking about your life and the space that you're in, the season that you're in, and the type of dog that you're looking for.
Definitely.
Will I have a dog until the day that I die? Absolutely. Will I get a puppy at 73? No.
Will I get a puppy at my current age? No.
No, she's already
absolutely not.
We're talking, and like she had a couple dogs come in, and like one of them, I think at one point I was like, that would be a really great dog for you to keep, like that like fits really good with your pack or whatever. And she goes, oh no, he's too young. He's 2.
Who is this?
I don't remember, but it was a conversation we had. He said he's 2, and I was like, what do you mean? Like
way too young.
That's not too young, but like, and so she goes, well, and then she starts doing these like beautiful mind calculations of like, well, here, if this dog lives to be, and I'm like seeing the writing in the sky like above my, and she's like, if I live to be this old and the dog lives to be this old and I want to do a world cruise and go around the world on a cruise ship, I can't do that because that dog's going to be this old and that's the year that I want to start doing the world cruise, and if that dog lives to be here, and I was like, holy crap, I have never thought about something more again than 30 seconds in my life, and here she is doing mathematical equations about whether or not she can adopt a dog at age 2.
You're talking about me.
Yes.
I'm the one that wants to do the world cruise.
I know. That's what I'm telling. The story is about you. I'm literally telling you a story about yourself.
When I asked
we
you
had
who
this
you're talking about, I thought that's
you.
What
Oh, I thought you asked about what dog. I don't know what dog you had. It was a foster dog you had, and I said it was a good fit and whatever, and you're like, no, because, and then all this crap started.
Well,
it's you.
It's true. I want to do that world cruise really bad. And I was actually just talking to somebody about this the other night. I'm hoping that by the time that this whole world cruise situation could actually pan out, that there will be a cruise ship that is dog friendly. And by dog friendly, I mean not just service dogs. I'm talking companion animals, period.
I want to let my dog
and
shit
why
on the
is
starboard
this,
port.
Exactly. Why is this not a thing already? Because
these cruise ships are huge. You could have a whole dog park.
But why? Yes. So just make a cruise ship.
This is genius.
I know. Specifically, this is the dog ship, like Norwegian dog ship. Like
shit.
Okay. It's a situation ship.
Yes.
Because how many?
I might go on a cruise if I could bring my dog.
That's what I'm saying. They could sell out in literally minutes. Because listen. Cover a couple decks in turf, rinse it off once a day, goes over in the ocean. Nobody gives a shit.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah, just put the little spouts off the edge.
Exactly. And also think of all the services they could offer on board. Doggy daycare, doggy grooming, pet treat situations,
custom outfits,
dining, shopping, dining with your dog. Come on.
You get your photo taken with your dog every day. You have to send home postcards.
You don't have to dock
PO
anywhere.
Boxes. It would be awesome.
I think the big problem is all of the countries that they port in. Every country has, like in Iceland, they don't care if you have a service animal or not. You are not getting off that ship in Iceland. They will not let you off. No. Period. Full stop.
Right.
But every port has different requirements of what
I can solve this though. You stop at the port. And your dog goes
to doggy daycare. Charge them out the ass for it.
You go enjoy your time. You come back home. You sleep with your dog.
If anybody would like to start a GoFundMe, I would love to build a cruise ship for you.
We need $1 billion.
$1 billion is probably about what it would take, honestly.
I bet so. They gotta be expensive.
They're very expensive, but you see these cruise ship graveyards. Why not just take a cruise ship that you're going to
Give us a rusty-ass ship and let us drive around the world with our dogs.
You could have a senior deck, a puppy deck, a pug deck. You could have groups.
A pug deck?
Groups that get together.
Take my money.
Like the pug group is going to meet on the, whatever, the veranda at 3 p.m. I'm telling you, the possibilities are endless.
Well, I mean, those of us who have centered our lives around dogs, and it's not just a few of us. There's a lot of people that really
we're not as crazy.
We're not as crazy as. So I have, a group of friends that, we all, of course, meet up at Paws and Pints, and they're getting ready to build a Paws and Pints location in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
We already have a plan. We're going to rent a van, and we're going to take our dogs and take a road trip to Scottsdale, Arizona for our vacation so that we can bring our dogs, and then we'll go do things, and they'll stay at the Paws and Pints down there.
I'm renovating a whole ass RV so I can take my dogs.
Yeah.
On the road vacation.
Yes.
Like, this is what we were talking about
the world needs to be more dog friendly. Yeah.
And I get the whole, like, the day-to-day, taking them shopping and going to the grocery store and why people don't like it. And, I don't agree with it, but I get it. I get why people are upset. But there are so many opportunities. And why should, just like people with kids, we cater to people with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we cater to people with dogs? People want to go on vacation with dogs. And frankly, our generation are more childless than any other generation.
Yep.
And they adopt more dogs.
Yes. And our dog cruise ship will not allow children.
Yeah. Why would you? They're all going to get bit anyway.
Yeah. Liability.
Well, the waivers would be endless on this deal. But you know what? People would do it. They don't care.
Oh,
They'll do it.
Take my money. I would like to be placed on the pug deck.
We were talking about senior dogs.
So there are several nonprofits that are specifically catered to the rescue and actually sanctuary of senior dogs.
Yeah.
Which to me, I think that as we age and rescue, I could see us landing there. So like we'll do this for as long as we can.
Oh, we're definitely going to retire to Miami and
then we could have a senior dog like sanctuary situation.
Absolutely.
I think that's my dream. I think that would be.
We need our Miami house to be handicapped dog accessible.
Ramps everywhere. Yep. I've already got a ramp going up to my bed.
AstroTurf everywhere.
Everywhere. We're just walking around.
Total drainage
on a
system
grid.
underneath.
Yeah. That's how I'd like to retire. But honestly, though, anyone who is listening to this who knows someone who is a senior who is looking into getting a dog, I can't tell you how many we get that are like, oh, I'm 73 and I'd like to adopt this Shih Tzu puppy. It's like, would you?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for this? Because, like, great. I want you to be able to enjoy and have a dog and have the type of dog that you want. But also, like, there's also this, even like a 8-9-year-old dog who could be your perfect companion and land in the right timeline. I don't have to beautiful mind the math here.
Right.
It's going to work out well if you do that.
Well, and let's just clear something up real quick. A senior Great Dane.
Oh, yeah.
Is like
very different than
6.5, 7 years old.
And a senior Shih Tzu.
A senior Chihuahua is like,
12.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on the breed.
Yeah.
And the size and all of
sure.
that. So it's, it's not just a certain age of dog. But
yeah, definitely.
I have a senior Chihuahua right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sharky is my only... Well, technically Dallas is a senior. He's a 12-year-old German Shepherd.
Yeah, he's very senior. Yeah.
He was limping this afternoon.
Oh.
So I'm keeping an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Sharky is my senior. And you know what? He doesn't really... He's not any more work than any of the others.
They need very little, yeah.
They just need different things. Like, he needs a bed, like a very fluffy, supportive bed, and he prefers to have a heating pad on it.
Yeah. Because he's a bony chihuahua.
Yeah, he's a little skinny shit. He's like 6 pounds. He just needs a little extra heat.
Yeah. So,
they don't require
and we talk a lot about like the people saying that, oh, I could never foster because I'd want to keep them all, and oh, I would never want to adopt a senior dog because it hurts too bad when they die. I don't think that you understand the pure like joy that you would bring to that dog's life and that dog will bring to your life. It's a different kind of love and it's a different kind of connection that you have to a dog that you bring in. If you get a dog at 10 years old,
yeah,
and you get to experience the senior years with it, knowing that like that's the goal.
Right.
It's a very different mindset than if you have a dog for 20 years and it dies.
See, I think
I just don't
people
get it.
People miss the my whole thing is when you adopt a senior dog or foster period, senior or otherwise, like you get to experience that many more dogs. Yes, you go through the pain of losing a dog. Yes, it hurts, and yes, it's sad and can be traumatic and whatever, but like is it really that bad?
No, because what fixes it is helping another senior one after that one goes.
That's yes.
Yeah.
So
and there's some people like Lori who do that over and over again, and some people like me, who I've got my regular pack of dogs that I got at age 2 without doing any math equations at all, and then I like to have at least one who I consider to be a senior or a super senior that I know I've got 1 to 5 years with.
Right. Because where are these kids going to go otherwise?
You want
don't count them out.
Yeah.
They are just as good, if not better, than a puppy or a young dog. They have just as much love to give, and frankly, they like to snuggle more.
Yeah, they're very sweet, and they make me laugh. They're very funny. The little
they lose their teeth and their tongues hang out and they're sloppy and
they're just the best. There's nothing more rewarding than a senior dog.
The thing that I like about Lori, she's gotten to the point where she's done this enough times that she knows. Mm-hmm. Like she's like my mom was a hospice nurse for like 17 years or something like that, at least that long.
Yeah,
and she got to the point where she had seen enough people die that like she could tell you, well, they're gonna die in the next 12 hours. Like she had it down to that. And Lori's gotten to the point where she just knows, like they're slowing down, they stop eating. They sleep 23 and a half hours a day, and I know that their time's coming. And
that allows you to begin to kind of prepare for that stage of that
It's
dog's
not
life.
about you,
no,
though.
It's not.
It's not about
does.
you. I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's about them. Make them comfortable. Make them...
It's really so fun just to be able to say, like, a last
you
hurrah. I hope someone adopts me when I'm old.
Girl, I got you.
Anyway, I just wanted to call that out. If you are someone that says that I could never adopt a senior dog because it's too hard to lose them, I challenge you to question your logic there, because the other option is to not take them in when you have the resources and the love to give, and then they're euthanized before they need to be, and they don't get to experience love for the last years of their life.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, let's.
Wrapping this up, I want to give a shout out to our good friend Melody Smith.
Yes.
She runs the.
She is.
You were talking about her earlier.
Yes, she is a board member and something for the Midwest Great Dane Rescue. And she's helped us with a couple Great Dane rescues, specifically where someone has called us to help a Great Dane, and she's like, I'll be right there. And so we assist in the rescue, but then they end up taking it in, and they do a wonderful job of fundraising, and they are very specific to the purebred Great Danes.
Yes.
So she does that.
She just today, which today is, we're recording on Monday, the 4th of November. This will be released on Friday, but she just opened her own business called Knox and the Hound. She's out of Knoxville.
Yeah.
And it is essentially...
I just put that together why it was called that. Got it. This whole time I've been like, why did they name it that? I don't get it. That's not their name. Or,
Oh yeah, I think it's a twist on Fox and the Hound and Knoxville.
I'm there now. I've just landed. I've known the name of this business for a full month.
Wow.
So anyway, okay. I needed someone to say it out loud.
Anyway, they have a whole Facebook page. They've got a following. They've got a website. It's a doggy daycare center. They also do dog training.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
So
they're gonna do awesome.
Please
if
go
you
check them
trust
out.
Anybody with your dog, trust these people. They're the real deal.
So they do daycare, boarding, and training. So if you're anywhere in the area, I'm sure they would very much appreciate your support. And again, that's Knox, Knox.
Like Knoxville.
Like Knoxville. Knox and the Hound.
Oh my gosh.
In Knoxville.
That's clever AF.
Knoxandthehound.com.
I was thrown off.
Well,
it's because of Knox Canine Training, and his last name is Knox. So my head was like, why did they name it that? Because
his last name is Knox?
Clint Knox, who does Knox Canine Training. It's a different business. But when I read
is he involved in it?
No, that's why I was so confused.
Oh, Jesus, I guess.
So I was like, why are they naming it?
I'm trying to make the connection, and I'm missing
I've been spending a month trying to figure it out until you said Fox and the Hound. And I was like, oh, and they live in Knoxville. Got it. Has nothing to do with one another. They're completely unrelated, but very funny.
Hilarious. Yeah. Real quick, because this is going to get released before our next episode, I did want to quickly go over 3 foster dogs that we've had for quite a while that we are, approaching desperate placement situation.
Right.
So, number 1, Hank. Take it away.
Hank was a puppy who we took in 2 other puppies from his litter when they were all very small puppies, and the owners thought they wanted to keep the 3rd, which was Hank. They kept him until his 1st birthday, and then life circumstances changed. They decided they didn't want to keep him, so they called us, sent him to rescue. Hank is actually a doodle pit bull Patterdale Terrier mix. He looks like a terrier mix.
He looks like Doug off of that Up movie. I mean, he's just a standard everyday mixed dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a pit bull.
Not at all.
He doesn't look like a lab.
Doodle.
He doesn't look like a doodle. He
None
doesn't look, I mean,
he just looks like
a
good
really
old boy.
cool dog.
He's a really beautiful dog who is a 1-year-old dog. So he has a lot
he's
of
probably like what, 1.5, 2 now.
Yeah, he turned. Well, yeah, I guess we got him in August, so he turned 1 around August.
Okay.
So he's with a very busy family that's having a hard time keeping up with that. He needs to go on walks and all the things, and I don't think they anticipated having him this long. And
Neither did we,
because he's so great. There's nothing wrong with him. He gets along with kids. He gets along with other dogs. He gets along with people. He walks good on a leash. He kennels up. He's a good boy. He just hasn't had any interest because he's not a designer breed or a small dog or whatever. He's just kind of a generic looking dog. But he is just primed to be your best friend and adventure buddy who could do whatever you wanted to with him. A wonderful family dog.
Yep.
So we are working on finding either alternative placement for him or finding some training resources for him where we can maybe help the family that's been fostering him to be able to manage his energy level a little bit better. Yep. But honestly, I think a movement wouldn't hurt him because he's very adaptable. He doesn't need much, and he gets along with everybody. So he's pretty easy.
So if any fosters out there are listening, if anybody's interested in starting to foster, this would be a great...
He's easy. He just needs somebody who's willing to put in the time.
Yep. And he needs marketed.
Yeah.
We need content.
Yeah, we need some content. We need some pictures. We need some videos. He's a good boy.
Beulah is our next one. She is a chocolate lab. We've talked about her before. She came from a situation with another dog out of Boone, and she really just needs to be in a home by herself. Maybe you should call that guy that was interested in Kaboom.
I don't hate it. Actually,
I don't hate it either.
And she's only 5.
Right.
Oh.
2 years on ya.
73.
Do the math.
75, 70. So
Algebra.
Hold the 2.
So Beulah, she's a good girl. She's just
She struggles with sharing her
she's
resources.
unpredictable.
Yes, she struggles with sharing her resources with other dogs, and she's not a huge fan of abrupt stranger entrances.
Yeah.
So,
Which, I mean, who can blame her?
Same.
I mean, frankly.
Did you know that 1 in 5 adults hides from children on Halloween when they come to get candy? They pretend like they're not home.
I definitely skew those results.
I know.
Nobody's
coming out to
I
your
don't even
place.
stay home. I know. I've never not once had a trick or treater at my house.
I put out a bowl of candy. So we had a Halloween themed trivia on trick or treat night, and because it got moved, I had to go to trivia, and I wasn't gonna be able to stay home and like hand out candy because trivia is very important. And I had studied my Halloween facts, so I wasn't gonna miss it because I was filled with knowledge.
Oh my god. Okay.
So go to Halloween trivia, pull back in. We have all these Halloween decorations out. Huge inflatable thing, which I absolutely despise and hate. If you put those in your yard, you're not my people. But I also have one in my yard because my husband likes it. Okay. So I have like a 14-foot tall Lord of the Underworld, which causes me great despair every Halloween.
Wow. Okay.
As well as all of these other characters on our porch. I hate it. But he had to work late at the guard, so he couldn't be home. So I literally set this little stool of candy up by my steps, all the creatures around it, like spooks and specters and goblins. And we pulled up, lights turn and shine. 7 of the hugest raccoons I have ever seen in my life, double fisting Snickers bars. They all had candies in their hands, trying to figure out how to open their Halloween treats. So we pull up, and they're all just turned like, oh my gosh, what are you doing home? And 7 of them.
That's how I look in the middle of the night in the freezer trying to open a Snicker.
They were trying to
without waking all my dogs up.
They were literally, like, I could see them thinking about how to use their opposable thumbs to open the Snickers. So, I'm like, oh my gosh. And there was one, like, right up, like, he had his hand in the bowl, you know. And so they all skittered off underneath my deck.
Oh my god.
And I'm sure ate their rewards. And so I took the rest of the candy inside. I don't think we had one child stop, but we had all of those raccoons. And it makes me super sad because I put that bucket really close to the steps, but I should have put it closer to the Ring doorbell so I could have gotten that scene on video. God. But anyway.
That would have been so funny. Oh, I can just see them sitting there with
Yeah, they all had little Snicker bars in their hands. It's the bite size.
Oh my god.
I don't know how we got here, but anyway.
There were so many people complaining about the Halloween not getting moved and this and that, and it's getting the city council involved and all this. I'm like, you guys, quit counting on the law or some city council to tell you when you can go get candy from strangers.
Just turn your porch
just
light on.
Go. Just go.
If you put the candy out, they will come. The raccoons or the kids,
right.
they'll all show up one way or another.
And then the next day, there were all these people bitching about how the kids took all their candy and the bowl that they left. I'm like,
I would have been pissed if they took my bowl.
Who? Oh, Jesus.
No, I would have just been happy that they were. Actually, I wouldn't care.
And you know what it's going to be next week? Everybody's going to be bitching about how everybody's sending their kids to school sick.
I don't know.
Because they sent them out in the rain to get free candy. I
didn't know we were going with that. Yeah,
anyway, sorry. Yeah. The last featured foster dog is Luna. She's been with us for a hot minute. She's 3.5 years old, 55 pounds, female.
This dog to me is like the prettiest one of the 3.
She looks like a lab, but like with the pointy ears though, with the pointy pit ears.
So I think she's a pit lab mix, to be said, but she's darling. I think she's so cute. But yet again, we have a string of these dogs who can't be with other dogs, and it is a real struggle for us as a rescue.
We're tapped out on
we can't take any more
large
that have
behavioral issues because frankly,
I don't want to have to do it.
We're weighed down right now. We've got Toast, we've got Luna, we've got Beulah, Kaboom's good with everybody,
mostly,
but whatever.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just, I don't know why no one wants Kaboom. Am I not doing a good enough
Florence.
job?
We've just got a handful of dogs that have behavioral issues.
Yeah.
And they're tying up fosters that are usually in and out fosters for us. So
yeah, and for us, like a dog sitting and sitting and sitting, yes, it's tying up a resource, but also it's mentally not good on that dog when it like can't get into its like forever home. Because a lot of these dogs, they're in a home where they have to be kenneled a lot of the time because there are other dogs in the foster home. So mentally, that's not why we're doing this. We're not doing foster-based rescue because we want to have a dog that has to sit in a kennel. These dogs need to live in a home with somebody who can...
And actually, I was just thinking about that on the way home today. I was driving back from the lake, and I still have Roy, and I don't get that at all, but it is what it is. And I told Roy, I said, buddy, I really didn't think you'd be coming down to the lake this many times. Like, I thought maybe once, maybe twice. He's been down there 4 or 5 times. He freaking loves it down there. He just has a ball. But my point is Roy's a good dog. He's a good boy. I love him. And he wants to be loved so hard, so hard, so hard. But I have to kind of... And I do love him. Like, I do love on him. He sleeps under the covers. He gets special supper. He does all those things.
Yeah.
But, like, I have to keep that wall
boundary,
up.
yeah.
I have to keep that boundary up between you're not my dog.
Yeah.
You belong somewhere. You belong with someone. They're just taking their sweet-ass time.
Yeah.
So... And I'm not asking for sympathy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for him.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know that.
No.
He doesn't understand that. No matter how many times I tell him or explain it to him, like,
Well.
he just wants to be loved and held and cuddled and kissed and snuggled and all the things. So, adopt. Because these dogs aren't meant to sit here for this long.
It's tough when they sit this long. And we're spoiled because we've had a really good experience with getting dogs in and out fairly quickly. And so we've just kind of been in this holding pattern. So you've noticed the last few episodes we've had a shorter amount of intakes and outtakes, but it's because we're trying to follow that fine line of not overdoing it while still doing right by the dogs that we have.
Yeah.
And we've got some that have got to go.
Yeah.
They're not doing we're not doing the best that we can by them because, well, we are doing the best we can, but they deserve better.
So if you're still listening to this episode, we appreciate you. Please share our website, share this podcast, share their pictures. Just just Facebook search our Oh My Dog Luna, Oh My Dog Roy, Oh My Dog Hank, and our individual posts will come up, and you can share them with your friends, your family, your enemies, all of them. Let's get them out the door.
Yeah. I mean, just help us to keep doing this thing, and we can't do it if we've got dogs that are sitting here for months and months. Yep. So appreciate all of the support.
But no matter what,
we'll figure it out.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what? We got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.